Hello, hi. There's an update from SpaceX that about Starship's 11th flight test. Starship's 10th flight test took a significant step forward in developing the world's first fully reusable launch vehicle. And coming about the Starship's 11th flight test, the 11th flight test of Starship is preparing to launch as soon as Monday, that is October-13, 2025. The launch window will open at 6:15 p.m. Central Time. A live webcast of flight test will begin at about 30 minutes before liftoff, which you can watch on X platform of SpaceX. You can also watch the webcast on X TV app. As is the case with all the developmental testing, the schedule is dynamic and likely to change, so be sure to check in here, that is on the X platform, on the SpaceX profile about updates. So the upcoming flight will build on the successful demonstrations from Starship's 10th flight test, with flight experiments gathering data for the next generation Super Heavy booster, stress testing Starship's heat shield, and demonstrating maneuvers that will mimic the upper stage's final approach for the future return to launch site. The booster on the flight test previously flew on Flight 8 and will launch with 24 flight-proven Raptor engines. Its primary test objective will be demonstrating a unique landing burn engine configuration planned to be used on the next generation Super Heavy. It will attempt this while on a trajectory to an offshore landing point in the Gulf of America and will not return to the launch site for catch. Super Heavy will ignite 13 engines at the start of the landing burn and then transition to a new configuration with 5 engines running for the divert phase. Previously done with 3 engines, the planned baseline for the version 3 Super Heavy, that is V3 Super Heavy, will use 5 engines during the session of the burn, responsible for the fine-tuning the booster's path, adding additional redundancy for spontaneous engine shutdowns. The booster will then transition to its 3 center engines for the end of the landing burn, entering a full hover while still above the ocean surface, followed by shutdown and dropping into the Gulf of America. The primary goal on the flight test is to measure the real-world vehicle dynamics as engines shut down while the transitioning between the different phases. Starship upper stage will target multiple in-space objectives, including the deployment of 8 Starlink simulators, similar to size to the next generation Starlink satellites. Starlink simulators will be on the same suborbital trajectory as Starship and are expected to demise upon entry. A relight of a single Raptor engine while in space is also planned. The flight test includes several experiments and operational changes focused on enabling Starship's upper stage to return to the launch site on future flights. For re-entry, tiles have been removed from Starship to intentionally stress test vulnerable areas across the vehicle. Several of the missing tiles are in areas where tiles are bonded to the vehicle and do not have a backup ablative layer. To mimic the path a ship, the Starship's upper stage will take on future flights returning to Starbase. The final phase of Starship's trajectory on Flight 11 includes a dynamic banking maneuver and will test subsonic guidance algorithms prior to a landing burn and splashdown in the Indian Ocean. Okay, you can have a look at the video released by the SpaceX team regarding to the 11th flight test of the Starship, and we will also cover the Starships after the liftoff of the SpaceX 11th flight test and give the details about their liftoff updates. Okay, have a nice day. Have a look at the video now. Thank you.
Minus 5 minutes and counting. Expecting propellant closeout on both vehicles and expecting no issues going into today's launch attempt. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Pitching downrange. Max Q.
Nico, ship ignition.
Stage separation.
First startup. Ship engine cutoff. Ship has entered payload deploy prep.
Open the pod bay doors now.
Ship's at payload deploy. light demo startup.
Starship is subsonic.
Starship landing burn startup.